In the last video I made, I said, obviously, I'll be working on the MG quite a bit, trying to get that backup restored. And since I said that, it's been about 2 months. And in that 2 months, I've pretty much done zero work on this MG. But in my defense, I wasn't finding reasons to not work on the MG this time, reasons were finding me. But that's in the past. And in the future, I see a completely restored MG. And to do that, the first step is going to be getting this car running again. I say again because this car was running at some point. In fact, when I bought this car, I actually drove it about 100 or so miles down the highway to actually get it to me. So it did run pretty well at some point, but right now the carbs I think aren't running right and it doesn't really idle well. And it actually, right now, it doesn't even start because of how cold it is. So my goal is to just retune the carbs and see if I can just get it running smoothly again, and then address everything else wrong with the car. This is the heart of the beast, if you will. It's a four banger. It has twin Weber carbs that are 2 barrels each. And if it sounds like I don't know what I'm saying, it's because I don't. I have zero experience with carbs, but today's the day I'm gonna learn and hopefully get this car running again. So here goes nothing, I guess. And when I say I know nothing about carburetors, I truly mean it. I'm gonna be just looking up videos on YouTube on tuning carbs and seeing if I can get this thing to work again. All right, so I'm basically just gonna set this back to just default like base settings and then try and tune it back up to where it should be from there. The first step for that seems to be adjusting these four idle mixture screws clockwise until it's seated all the way at the bottom and then turning them back up 1 1/4 turns. Half, 1/4, half, 1/4, half, 1/4, half, 1/4. All right, so next up seems to be adjusting this idle speed screw right here. So then I'm gonna turn this until that point right there hits the linkage, and then I'm gonna do another half turn. All right, it is quite cold, but let's see if this starts up. I'm gonna leave it in neutral and just let the fuel prime a bit. All right. I guess here goes nothing. Do I know what I'm doing? Not really. All right, I think I'm gonna have to call it for today. It's getting pretty late. It's pretty dark out. I think it's about 11:45 p.m. and I got work in the morning, so I can't keep at this much longer. And I think I'll need a second person to help me out to start cranking the car just so I can see what's happening at the actual engine. Because right now I'm just cranking and then all I hear is cranking, but I don't hear the engine turning over, and I can't really see why. I'm assuming the fuel isn't actually going into it, but I can't see it, so I can't really confirm anything. So I'm gonna try this again with a friend to see what's going on and then go from there. All right, so it's been a few days and I think I finally figured out what's happening. My initial guess was correct. The engine wasn't actually getting any fuel. I forgot to get a video of this in the moment, but the first thing I checked was these coils and made sure all of them had spark and everything. And so I was basically left with the only option that I wasn't actually getting any fuel to this engine. And so when I realized that the fuel was indeed the problem, I remember that when I initially bought the car, there wasn't that awful racket when I primed the fuel pump. It was just pushing out fuel and sounded normal. It was just maybe like a small like electronic whir, but nothing like that crazy racket I had heard. So I came back here, I kind of just messed with these lines, made sure they were actually sitting properly, and that seems to do the trick, I believe. So we're gonna try and see if this runs now. All right, so when I actually turn this key, we don't hear that noise anymore coming from here. It's very quiet. It's vibrating a little bit, but it's not making the huge racket it was before. And it seems like fuel's actually going to the engine, which is great. So now, if I actually try and crank it, it should start. Pump it a few times. It's in neutral. Look at that. It's idling beautifully. I'm gonna let this run for a bit and get up to 10 so I can retune the carbs. But it should be good to drive now. Now I just need to fix the brakes and the front end damage and all of that stuff. But as far as running goes, it seems to be working well. So I'll call that a success for this video. See y'all later. Bye.